Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing well. I'm shuffling these cards, and what I wanted to do is talk about the eclipse, which is tomorrow. But what I want to do, this is a new deck, and I wanted to do a review on the Rider-Waite, which I'm sure there's many out there, but I wanted to do one because when I watch other reviews of videos, I always want to see the cards a little bit longer and so on. Anyway, so what I did was I decided that I wasn't going to pull cards or read cards on the solar eclipse, which is tomorrow, new moon in Leo, and it's a solar eclipse, right? So I didn't want to read cards for that. But what I wanted to do was talk about the numerology for this month. And it also relates to tarot cards. So I thought it would be great to talk about that on the channel. But first I'll talk about the full moon. If you've seen the other videos, it's about being grounded, you know, going within ourselves and looking at ourselves and meditation and all of that. But for you tarot card lovers, we have the moon card. You can see it there. And the Hermit card. So these are the main two cards for the month. For the month that we're in, it's the moon card. And the Hermit represents this month as well. So we'll get into that. All right. So the moon card, and how we get to it is adding up the month and the year. And then we get 18. Okay? And we get the moon card. And 18 represents the moon, which is moving forward, which is things are not what they seem. So when things are not what they seem, what we tend to do is look a little deeper, right? Or we should look a little bit deeper. All right, so I'm going to tilt it right now. That way we can focus on the card. So, get that out of the way. So the moon card, I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Sorry about that. We'll just keep it at this angle. That way you guys can see it. So the moon card focuses on moving forward. So we have the two pillars here, allowing ourselves to move forward. We first want to look and see, what is this? What does it mean? Okay, whenever we look at something, we want to try and see what it means before we jump to a conclusion. But sometimes when we look at things, it is what it seems. We know this, right? But what we can use for this August, and we have Mercury in retrograde from August 12th to August 30th. So again, it's all about looking at something, what we perceive it to be. And Mercury retrograde is not exactly what it is, but it's also a time to slow down, relax, look at ourselves, look at the situation clearly, and so on. But with this month being that it is an 18 month, we can look at this and break down the number 18, right? So the vibration of this number is 1, which is independence. It's a strong will, new beginning, a pure energy, just being strong and also working together as well. And this also can be an assertive energy. And then with 8, I think about Leo when I think about the number 8 in 18. So I think about, I have to keep shuffling this to pull 3 cards later. What fell out? Death card. So, so this one fell out in Major Arcana. Death card just fell out as I'm trying to shuffle it. So new beginnings, or end of one thing, beginning of something else. Okay, so I don't, energetically for me, I don't feel like I should pull cards tomorrow, just because of what I'm going to tell you about the energies, and I have it all written down because there's so many things going on. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, so the moon card, okay? 18 is the universal tarot card number for the month is 18. For numerology, we get that. Now we're looking at 8. And when I get 8, I think about strength, energy. I think about abundance, what we want to manifest. What do we want to manifest, right? And we think about infinity. I think about infinity when I see the 8th card or the 8th number, right? And of course I think about, like I said, Leo, and it is the 8th card. So all these coincidence is adding up, and Leo is in the North Node. So in astrology we have the Grand Fire trine, and it's I believe it's 3 or more signs in one area of the chart, and yeah, 3 or more planets in an area of the chart. And this time it could be the same element or different elements, but this time we have 3 of the fire signs. So there's 3 groups of 3s for the elements, and it's Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. So Leo is in the North Node, and Leo is a very strong sign that doesn't like to be controlled. You just can't control Leo. It's just not going to happen. And with the North Node, we want to focus on where do we want to be in our lives, right? So we want to focus on that. We want, with the North Node, we'll come back to that. With the North Node, we want to focus, where do we want to go in our lives, right? And it's like our mission in life with the North Node. And with Leo, Leo thinks about themselves first. Like most fire signs, they're determined. They want to get what they want to get for themselves. However, if there's chaos around them, they realize that, wait, something needs to be fixed, and they can use their power, their ability to help make that change. So whatever is opposite sign on the chart, you have Leo in one area, and then you have Aquarius in the south. So these are the points. The North Node, the South Node are different points in the chart. So in the South Node, we have Aquarius, and Aquarius is a forward thinker, right? They're usually beyond their decade, right? They're beyond their time frame. They're the humanitarians, they're the visionary, they're the intelligent ones, they question things that are going on. They like to think ahead. And then now we have Aries in Uranus, and Uranus energy is about change, like an electric change, like a very powerful, swift change. They're forward thinking. The Uranus energy challenges tradition. It's big on individual and celebrating originality and challenging traditions and thinking forward as well. So that complements Aquarius. However, Uranus is in Aries, so when you have Aries energy, they're known as the first in the tarot deck. So whenever I think of Aries, I think of someone that has their own ideas. They might not be willing to really listen first. They'll have to have proof before they really listen. So it's very stubborn energy, but you know, all the fire signs have their good qualities, but this is in conflict, right? Because if Uranus wants to be forward thinking, if it doesn't apply with Aries, then it's kind of, you have like a butting of heads. Then you have Aries as the independent one, and they like to have a new direction. So Aries will want to do what they want to do when they want to do it. Now, back to Aquarius. Aquarius rules the 11th house. So Aquarius thinks about family and friends, network, mainly friends, network, connecting, and so on. Okay, and with the moon card for this month, it's a lot of looking at things for what they really are. So when we're looking at things for what they really are, a lot of things can come up. So these 3 fire signs right now in this triad, it's very powerful energy, and a Mercury retrograde. And then for the 3rd zodiac sign, we have Sagittarius in Saturn, and Saturn is like the messenger, the person that brings about message, right? And they are focused on boundaries. That Saturn energy is boundaries. It's organizations. It's delays. It's restrictions, and it's in Sagittarius. So, and Sagittarius is there now. Sagittarius is the traveler, the free thinker. They're optimistic, and they want things to go their way. They're a very powerful fire sign, and they're free thinking, and it's like, okay, now the Sagittarius energy is moving into trying to take control and take responsibility for what the situation is right now, even if it's not their fault or what have you. But they're very social, and they're very responsive to what's going on around them, right? These free thinking minds. So you have this powerful energy along with the solar eclipse in the new moon for Leo. And new moon is like resetting everything, so we can reset ourselves. But the most powerful way to use this solar eclipse is to go within ourselves and say, okay, where can I make improvements for myself, but how can I be more connected to myself in this life, right? In this life. So this month, if we're looking at the tarot cards for the 18th number, we have the moon card. And then if we break it down to 9, now we have the hermit card, which is a person that studies, looks up information. They kind of pull back. So you have this look at things for what they really are, moon card, right? The 18th card in the deck, moving forward, looking forward, and even moving forward, but still unsure of how things will be, but that you have to move forward to really see things for what they really are, looking at it. And then you have the hermit card, which is like, okay, let's think about this, let's study, let's kind of go off to myself and gather myself, and then moving forward. So that's that energy, okay? And what I feel that, I'm going to shuffle these guys back, and what I thought was interesting was for the US, the last time they had this type of eclipse, well, it was 1978, but also 1918, and we're in the 18th month and we're having an eclipse. So I thought those similarities was pretty interesting. Oh, we have a card that popped out. Let's check it out. See how much we can go. Okay, so we have the 10 of coins. How interesting is that? Okay, so that one popped out. Let's try and do another one. Let's make this one for, I'm pulling 3 cards. Let's see what the third one will be. The Magician. Okay. Very interesting. And then we have the 2 of Swords. And this one has that sword energy as well. It has, let me move it in closer. It has, the Magician makes all things possible. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so what do I want to say about the 10 of coins? Okay, so the 10 of coins, you see it has like a family energy, a getting together energy. It's an earth energy. It's all about all the elements in one. So I feel like it goes along with the Uranus energy, even though it's a change, but it's looking forward. It's celebrating individuals, right? But I feel like it also challenges tradition. So it's kind of like affecting the 10 of Pentacles, and it's like an energy of issues of family, right? Of of what we gain and what we work for, and is that protected and protecting that family energy, right? And the Uranus in Aries, that Aries energy is about one, right? Is about itself, but then it's also going to be in conflict with challenging tradition and being the originality of an individual. And then it also complements the Aquarius energy. That's why I strongly feel like this eclipse is more of a grounding energy and making peace with ourselves and how we think, right? Because this 10 of Pentacles is talking about the home and where do we want to have control in our lives, right? How are we controlling our lives? Let me put this here so we know. So how are we controlling our lives? Who's controlling our lives? How is our life going, right? What are we gaining? Our family, what matters to us, right? So we're concerned with that, and this kind of energy is like it's building up. And it's like a fast moving, if you see everything that's going on, a lot of us could feel the energy from April. Some started feeling it in July. And I'm never one to really say, oh, I can feel this energy, feel that. But when it's strong enough, yes, you can feel that. Now we have the Magician, a major arcana. And the Magician is the person that can turn whatever is going on in their life to benefit them, right? They can make anything possible. We all have that within us, but some people have it more than we do, right? And with these 3 fire signs, they definitely have the ability to get attention and to keep it, right? And I think of the North Node also, the North Node in Leo. I think of the Magician as what is your life's mission? What's your life purpose? And moving towards that. Right? And then you have that Aquarius energy that's saying, oh, okay, you know, how do you handle someone that is thinking in a backwards way when you are a future thinker, right? And how do you manifest that and show it in a picture, like show it in a picture of what things can be. And the funny thing is, another thing that I found in researching it is that it mentioned imagery and photography. So I feel like we'll have a lot of meaningful historic pictures right now. So there's imagery is going to play a big part with this solar eclipse. I mean, they're going to take pictures of the solar eclipse, but in our own life, I think we're going to have like some kind of meanings happening in the next couple of days with this Magician card. Okay, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck because it talks about us and our ability to create and to change our lives, right? To make it for the better. And being a new moon in Leo, that is a time to reset ourselves, to kind of look inward, not pulling down energy if you meditate, not in that way, but just looking within ourselves. And when the moon and the sun are in that alignment, it's like we can actually bring our unconscious, our subconscious mind together and kind of think, okay, what's my unconscious moods are that I'm unaware of that really influence the way I'm thinking, that is holding me back from manifesting and just living at the highest level, like that North Node level, right? And then you have the sun that's our fully conscious, like we see it, right? But we see what's going on. And it's like the Magician only lets you see what he wants you to see, right? So all the skills and everything that goes behind it, you might not see what that is, but it's still happening. So the result is what has manifested, is the proof that something is also going behind the scenes that you are unaware of, right? And it's that Saturn in Sagittarius. Now Sagittarius, it can be very powerful, right? And that Saturn energy is very much a messenger in a preachy way, which could be a turnoff. But also, what does it teach us? It teaches about restrictions, good or bad, organizations, good or bad, discipline, good or bad, delays, good or bad, boundaries, good or bad, right? And this magician is like, just to get to this level of the magician is not easy, because you have to really master yourself, and then you can master everything else. And he has like everything here on the table. He has fire, he has earth, all the elements in one. He has water, he has sword, right? And he has even that 8. We talked about that infinity, that strength. He has everything around him. He's like, he, she, everyone has that magician, and it's like the finger pointing down to the earth, like pulling up the energy from the earth, and as above, so below. But at this time, at the eclipse, it's more about making peace with yourself to get to like this magician state, right? So we have that family, and if I'm looking at it right, the North Node, the Leo, right? Family, what are your core beliefs, or the subconscious and the conscious mind within the family that will kind of bring about everything else, groups and all of this type of energy. And now you have the magician, which is, I'm trying to remember what that one was. That was Aries, the Uranus energy, the quick changes, right? Celebrating individuality, but still actually being connected, right? Being connected, but still being an individual. And then we have the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords I really love, because it's like a balanced energy, right? However, it's also looking deep within, trusting oneself, right? And the swords represents communication. Another thing I like about the swords is that it mentions air, but not just communicating, but also listening. And the skill of listening is the blindfold. So you're using your other senses. It's not just what you can see, but what also you can hear. So are you listening? So another part of speaking, and the most powerful part of speaking, is listening, right? And I like the Two of Swords because it takes courage to actually listen, right? It takes courage to not use one of your senses, right? So the power of listening. And when you listen, you can know when you're hearing trickery, anything false, words that you are using might be used against you, but you can call it out because you're listening, right? And back to, I wish I had the card out, I had to shuffle it, but what I'll probably do is take it out in a little bit. But the Hermit card is all about that study, right? That study, so you can actually develop yourself. So when words are used against you, you're actually the magician. You can actually decode it and say, okay, this is like trickery here. This is complete falsehood, if you will. All right. So it represents its own balance, this card, right? And conforming, like in some sense, conforming would help, but it's more focused on the effects of its own power, right? To have the courage to listen to oneself, right? And this takes a lot of courage, and people don't realize that it takes more courage to actually listen, and more strength to actually listen. So 1, 2, and the third card. And whenever I see this card, the main thing comes to me is trusting self. And then it has its own little eclipse there as well, which I'm sure someone's probably yelling into the screen going, the moon, the sun and the moon, So that time to actually reset, to be one with ourselves is very powerful. So let me see if I can find that, because I wanted to have those out as well. So I wanted to make this video just to see what cards would pop up for the solar eclipse, and if it would actually tell a story. And for me, I feel like it did. You know, so how do you take this as your own zodiac sign? Because we have tons of zodiac signs watching, right? So you might be a different zodiac sign. I'm going to leave that strength card out because it's the 8th card. So I kind of feel like... and then we had the death card that popped out earlier, too. I don't know if I passed that one. But we had the death card that was like one of those cards that dropped out. And we had the moon card and the hermit. Okay, good. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, for the month, the 2 cards is the hermit and the sun, right? And with everything astrologically that's going on with the solar eclipse, the new moon, this month being an 18th month, and one of the other eclipses happened in 1918. Pretty cool. I'll do it this way. So the moon card is seeing things for what they really are, right? So sometimes you have to take a second look to actually see things for what they are. And then these 2 pillars, it's like walking through, it's like moving forward, right? There's so much to be said. And then the hermit card as well. It's like lighting your own way in a sense, but it's the reclusive one, the one that studies, the one that seeks knowledge, seeks information, right? And the only reason why I pulled out the 8th card is the number 8. You have for 18, 1 and 8. So 8 representing that Leo energy, that strength, right? And let me see if I bring them back a little bit, that way you guys can see it, right? That Leo energy. And then what popped out was a death card that fell out. It was like an ending, right? An end. It could be literal death. I want to see what the one is. A literal death card and a literal death card. So it could be physical death or reincarnation, something changing. And then we have the 1 card in the zodiac. We have the magician card as the 1 card in the deck. So we have 18, 1 and 8. So we have it all right here, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to pull some cards to talk about the energy of the numerology for this month and the tarot cards associated with it. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. And yeah, if you choose to do your own reading today, Sunday, and however you want to celebrate the eclipse. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like that. It's so much information, sorry about that, to take in. It was really fun for me to look it all up and see how does the tarot affect this this solar eclipse. It's pretty cool, and it's pretty amazing that the magician card popped out, and it's the first card in the deck. I think that is pretty cool. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy this solar eclipse, and be safe. Protect your eyes. All right, later.